Hey guys, how's it going? It's Danconia and welcome back to Overwatch, and a bit of a housekeeping at the start of this video. I finally have my new microphone, so I might sound a little bit different than I have done previously. It got lost in transit while I was in hospital, so that was great. I've had to sort that out all week, but now I finally have it and it's all set up, so hopefully I sound a bit better. I am still iterating on it, so bear with me while I make some changes, but we are here to talk about Overwatch, and more specifically, patch 1.43. Now, if you didn't know, that patch has been on the PTR for a while. It contains the barrier nerfs that everyone has been looking for, that we know we're in double shield at the moment on live servers, and Blizzard have moved to change this. Now, there's been a lot of commotion in the past few weeks about when this will go to live servers, and there was a rumour that it might not go until January, and that would have been pretty bad. I think everyone would have agreed, but Jeff came out on the forums and confirmed that next week it'll be coming out along with Winter Wonderland. Obviously we know the winter event will be coming out pretty soon. It's going to be next week, either Tuesday or Thursday I would imagine. Most likely Tuesday because that's normally when the updates go out. And the PTR will go down probably until after Christmas now because the Blizz devs will probably go on holiday. But this patch is a big patch because obviously it contains those barrier nerfs, and if you didn't know, Orisa's barrier has been reduced from 900 HP to 600 HP, Sigma's experimental barrier has been reduced from 1500 HP to 900 HP, and it also has had its regeneration rate reduced. Reinhardt's barrier has been reduced from 2000 HP to 1600 HP. So basically all around barriers have been nerfed apart from Winston's barrier, which I believe received a bit of a buff. Also though, there's been other changes, so armour has been made much stronger now. That's got a reduction increase from 3 to 5, so armour's much stronger. Orisa's had her base armour increased from 200 to 250. Her movement speed penalty has been reduced from 30% to 20% when she's firing, so she moves faster now when she's firing. And also her fortify cooldown has been reduced from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. We'll have a look more at that in a minute. Sigma's kinetic grasp, his cooldown on that has been reduced, and damage to shield gain ratio has increased from 40% to 60%, so he will gain more shields when he uses kinetic grasp. Reinhardt has had his steadfast passive ability buffed. This is something he received not that long ago, which gave him knockback resistance. It's been increased from 30% to 50%, so basically he becomes a very immovable object, so things like Lucio boots, Pharah boots and stuff like that have much less effect on him, and he's much less susceptible to the CC from the likes of a Doomfist or things like that, which is probably going to negatively affect Doomfist's pick rate. It'll be interesting to see how that works out. But also he's had his movement speed penalty reduced, again from 50% to 25% when he has his barrier up, so he moves a lot quicker when he's got his barrier up. It's all to increase the speed of the game and stop people from surviving so much, make fights much faster, which I think everyone wants. Everyone wants the pace of the game increased, because these fights have been dragging out for such a long time with so many barriers in the game, and DPS have been feeling pretty useless because basically they've been firing into big blue blocks or big red blocks. So yeah, now you can actually click on heads more. This is what this is meant to do anyway. Also, we've had some changes to Moira. She doesn't heal as much now. Her healing's reduced from 4 to 3.25. That's because Moira is so dominant in the meta right now. It's not going to too negatively affect Moira, I don't think. I think she'll still be a good pick. D.Va's defense matrix cooldown has been reduced from 2 to 1.5 seconds. We'll discuss that in a minute. Widowmaker's grappling hook cooldown has been increased from 10 to 12 seconds. Yeah, that's okay. I probably would have left that for a minute and then done it in the next patch if it needed doing. Torbjorn's overload cooldown has decreased from 12 to 10 seconds, so Torbjorn's got a buff. And Genji's shuriken ammo has been increased from 24 to 30. So Genji's got the first buff, I think, actually, in Overwatch history that he's received. Direct buff, anyway. And Zarya's particle cannon secondary fire explosion radius increased from 2 to 2.5 centimeters, and the ammo cost has been reduced from 25 to 20. Another neat buff for Zarya there. So what does this all mean? Well, it means that the game is going to become more brawly. That is the general consensus here. Now, if we take one isolated look at Orisa here, she's now become more of a brawler tank than she is a bunker tank. Let's be honest, she's always been a bunker tank. You stick her somewhere, you normally stick something pretty immovable behind her, normally a bastion, Batiste added to this when he was released. And then you just stick there and hold your position. This is not the case now. Because of Orisa's barrier nerf, she can't do that because she just doesn't have enough barrier uptime. So, Stylosa put it pretty well. The way you would play Orisa now on live servers is you'd put a barrier down. When your barrier depletes, if you don't have another one ready, you use Fortify, your body block, and then you put the barrier down when it's ready. On the PTR, you'd do it the other way. You would body block with your Fortify, then you'd barrier, then you'd Fortify body block when your barrier goes down, because your Fortify is stronger, you can tank more, and the Fortify is on a lower cooldown now. So, Fortify has become much stronger. And Fortify is a brawling ability. It makes Orisa very, very hard to kill. And with her extra 50 armor, and the armor changes, Orisa has become very, very tanky. But she's a brawler tank, not a tank. She wants to get into the fight now, rather than, you know, sitting on the sidelines and just holding her position. She's much, much more brawly, and obviously the movement speed increase with her fire rate adds to that as well. So, what does it mean for Sigma? Sigma... Yeah, I don't think Sigma is going to hang around, I'll be honest. If you're looking at the PTR right now, it's a toss-up. Most people are playing Reinhardt Orisa, so it is double barrier, but it's a much more brawly form of double barrier. You're not just denying DPS doing anything, basically. You want to brawl, which plays into the hands of DPS heroes like Reaper and Mei, which we are already seeing on live servers anyway. And I have voiced my opinions on those heroes quite a few times, and I'm not going to do it again. Also, this indirectly affects Brigitte, because obviously Brigitte loves to brawl. Again, the armor changes also affect Brigitte in a good way. I still don't think Brigitte is in a brilliant place, and I don't think Brigitte will be a massively picked hero, but she will be better than she is now, because she is trash tier right now, just like Soldier 76. And we'll get on to him in a minute. Reinhardt, I think, is probably one of the better tanks now. You're definitely looking at Orisa and Reinhardt being the best main tanks. In terms of, we always discuss this, a return to dive. It's possible, because another hero that benefits a lot from this is Zenyatta. With less barriers available, Zen can get work done with his orbs. Also, with the barriers having less health, Zen can burn through them pretty well as well. So Zen might see actually quite an upturn in pick rate, which is good for Zen, because Zen has not been in the meta for a while now, because he's not been able to get any work done. A massive winner from this patch is Batiste. Batiste was already very good on live servers. Batiste is pretty insane, and the reason Batiste is pretty insane is because he's hybrid. He's hybrid DPS, hybrid support, right? Batiste, honestly, if he was in the DPS category alone, you'd take him over a Soldier 76, because he can burn barriers better than 76 generally. He can do more damage than 76 generally at the moment. And he's got that extra healing output. But that's why no one rolls 76 at the moment, because Soldier 76 is the worst DPS in the game. Probably. Closely followed perhaps by Ashe or someone like that. He just doesn't do enough. He just doesn't do enough. In this day and age of Overwatch, Soldier has kind of been left behind. His kit's not versatile enough, and it's not got that burst damage that so many heroes have got these days. When you look at the heroes that are being used often, Reaper, Hanzo, McCree, Mei, they've got high amounts of burst damage. And even Trace has got a high amount of burst damage. Soldier just doesn't really have that. He just has his Helix, and it's not as effective as other heroes. So that's why Soldier 76 is struggling a lot. I think Soldier 76 needs a rework, in all honesty. I don't think he just needs buffs. I think he needs a rework to his kit. And we'll see what happens if that ever happens, because obviously there's a lot of Overwatch 2 going on at the moment, and we don't know where the devs are going to go with buffs and changes to the live servers in the future. So we're going into a very brawly time for Overwatch. It'll be interesting to see where the meta goes. An indirect winner from this could be D.Va as well. The reason being is it depends what tank line you run, but D.Va's defense matrix could become quite crucial to getting through chokes again. Because, yeah, double barrier would easily get you through chokes. But, and this is a argument I've had for a long time, if you nerf barriers, but the power creep in DPS continues, you're going to have a problem. Barriers are going to become almost non-existent, right? So, Stylos had pointed out a comp the other day, and I kind of agreed with him. If you had a Zen and a Baptiste in the back line, they have high damage output. Then you have something like a Hanzo and a Mei, or something. Hanzo's damage output is crazy. He melts barriers so quickly. Even McCree does these days. You've got an Orisa that's pumping into your barriers as well. Then you've got the two backline supports of Zen and Baptiste. It's crazy. All you can do is just full on run into that team and brawl. And then if they've got a Mei, you're not going to have a good time there either. So, yeah. The only thing that can stop that is something like a defense matrix. And that's where D.Va might get a bit of a boost in her pick rate, but I'm not sure we're going to see a full return to dive. It's just D.Va. It's just D.Va, really, because Winston is going to struggle against the likes of Mei and Reaper, and as far as we can see at the moment, we're not seeing a massive shift away from Mei Reaper. Again, this is all PTR judged from Pro Pugs and from playing on the PTR, so we don't know fully what we're going to see until it gets onto live servers. We could see an outstanding comp just suddenly rise to the top of the chain and everyone starts playing it. Dive might become pretty good again because people move away from playing Mei Reaper because they've played it for so long now and start playing things like Double Sniper because they can now because there's less barriers on the field. All we can say is it makes Overwatch in general much more brawly. It makes DPS much more, or gives them the ability to pop off more, and it's definitely a big buff to hitscan because hitscan can get much more done with less barriers on the field, and that is ultimately what this PTR patch does. It puts less barriers on the field. What it will mean for tanks, this is the big if. We really don't know. All we can kind of say is Sigma is not brilliant. That's all I'm saying at the moment. Another guy that might actually work pretty well is Wrecking Ball because of the armor buff. That's another one that might get a bit of an increase. But again, we'd have to convert to more of a dive meta, and that doesn't look likely at the moment. The most likely thing is we're looking at the moment is Orisa Reinhardt, and still means double barrier, just means less HP barriers and more brawl, which means it's better for Mei and Reaper, which probably means we're going to see some changes to those heroes, hopefully, in the near future, early next year or something. But apart from that, we also have one big other change, and that is While You Wait. And While You Wait is a system that while you queue, whether that be in competitive or whether that be in quick play, obviously we know about the long queue times for DPS especially, you can now play custom games and skirmishes in the practice range and deathmatch and stuff like that, arcade games, while you're waiting in that queue, which is fantastic. We have wanted that for a very long time, and we finally have got that, which is really good, and hopefully it should ease the eternal boredom, especially for higher level players, of just waiting for a queue, because some people are waiting well over half an hour for DPS games, and even though I don't play DPS a lot, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. It must be agony, especially for people like streamers that, they need to keep people entertained. So that's awesome as well. But that is patch 1.43. It's going to mean changes. It is going to mean changes. But it's going live next week unless something unforeseeable happens. It's confirmed by Jeff. It will either go live, most likely either Tuesday or Thursday, but it's most likely Tuesday. And it will go live with the Winter Wonderland event. I will cover the Winter Wonderland event when it comes out, and we will see what cosmetics we get. We already know one's cosmetic for Sigma, and hopefully we don't get anything spoiled, because we didn't last time, and it was really nice to see some stuff for a surprise. But it will only be cosmetics, because there's going to be no new game modes or anything, because they're working on Overwatch 2. But please bear with me while I'm iterating on this new sound setup. I will continue to iterate on it, because I want to try and get it perfect. This microphone is really good, and I want to get it right. And yeah, that's it for today, I think. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next video. See you then.